What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for the next season preview. It's the time for my favorite team, the Chicago Blackhawks. A little more in depth on this one because I know a lot more of the players, but other than that, it's pretty much the exact same. General Manager Kyle Davidson, who's going into year 4 as this team's general manager. Coach, brand new hire Jeff Blashill, who's had experience coaching the Detroit Red Wings as well as assistant coaching in the Tampa Bay Lightning organization. We'll see how he does in his first season behind the bench. Last couple of years have been rough for the Blackhawks because they've been rebuilding. And I honestly expect this to be one more year of a pretty gruesome rebuild. And then after that, we finally should start seeing some improvements. We're going to go up this year, I think. Not by a lot, but it should be substantial after that. Because our younger players will be coming in, our veterans will be either being traded out or getting more assets back. We continuously be going through a cycle of getting younger as a team. To start off, Ryan Donato had a hell of a season last year, so he was extended at 4 years, $4 million, going until 2029. Bedard is an RFA in 2026. He'll be your first-line center, of course. And they went out and they acquired Andre Burakovsky, $5.5 million cap hit until 2027. So that's your first line right there. Second line, Teravainen, $5.4 million until 2027. Nazar is an RFA in 2026 as well. And Bertuzzi, $5.5 million until 2028. Top 6, mixed bag right there. Bedard and Nazar are, of course, the young bright spots of that. And I think we'll be seeing some more pieces go into that soon as well. Third line, you have Colton Dach, who's listed on the third line left wing spot. RFA in 2026. Then you have Jason Dickinson, 4.25 until 2026, and Ilya Mikheyev, 4.037 until 2026. These are, of course, the lines from a Puckpedia, as I'm using for all of these season previews. On the fourth line, you have Nick Foligno, $4.5 million until 2026. That's their captain. Ryan Green, who was out in the lineup for the last 2 games of the season. I don't think he'll start the season with the Hawks, but he's listed as the fourth line center. He's an RFA in 2027. And Landon Slager is also an RFA in 2027 as the fourth line right winger. Depth amongst the forward group, you have Lucas Reichel, $1.2 million until 2026. I think he probably gets in over Dach or Green. Lafferty at $2 million until 2026. I think he also gets in. So if I had to take 2 guys out of the lineup, it's probably Dach and Green, put Reichel and Lafferty in. You have Toninato, who they signed and brought in, and Joey Anderson as well. Probably going to mostly play in the minors, but can be brought up if need be. Prospects and guys who are on the way. Moore and Lardis are 2 guys to watch as they're now going to be playing with Rockford next year. Moore could correct the lineup. He looked pretty good out in his NHL debut. So we'll see if he corrects the lineup. And then guys coming up. We have a lot of prospects still coming up, and I think people forget about that. You have Frondell, the 3rd overall pick from this year. Vanacker's a former first-round pick. Spellacy. Boisvert is a former first-round pick. Nestrazel and West are first-round picks from this year. Kanserov and Mustard are all names to watch. There were more I thought about putting on, such as Ludwinski, who's in Rockford right now, but I decided to hold off for now. On the defensive side, you have Vlasic making $4.6 million until 2030, if that's correct. I think it was 2030. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Either 2029 or 2030. I really don't remember which one. I think it was 2030. Rinzel is an RFA in 2027. Kaiser is currently an RFA. I assume he will sign shortly, but the fact that Kaiser is still an RFA as we head into mid to late August is interesting. Levshinov, RFA in 2027, 2nd overall pick. He should be taking a next step this year. Del Mastro on the 3rd pairing is an RFA in 2026, and then Connor Murphy, $4.4 million in 2026. Definitely a name to watch for the trade market this season, as we have so many young defensemen just clamoring to get into the lineup. Speaking of other young defensemen, Crevier, Korchinski, and Allen, also young defensemen. My guess is someone's going to have to be moved out. It's like Murphy's probably going to get moved at the deadline. Okay, who else do you move out? You don't move out Vlasic, you've extended him. Renzel's the young kid on the block and is a right shot. You don't move him out. You don't move Levshinov out. Crevier you just extended. Korchinski and Allen. Korchinski's got the offensive upside compared to out of all the defensemen here. Do you move out Del Mastro since he's old, a little slightly older, maybe about a year? Do you move out Kaiser while he's an RFA? It's going to be a question to see. Maybe at the deadline they make a move. So for something like that, maybe they swing a big trade and just get some draft picks back, or maybe they bring in a big name player. Who knows? Goaltending. Spencer Knight, $4.5 million until 2026. He's going to get his first chance to be the starter in his place for a full season. He's an RFA next summer. Arvid Soderblom has been extended 2 years at $2.75 million until 2027. Other goaltending depth, you have Brazois, $3.3 million until 2026, who's not played a game for the Blackhawks, even though we signed him last year, and if he plays this year, who knows? Comesso also got into 2 games last year, so he should be ready to come up soon enough. I'd say within next year and a half, 2 years, Comesso should be knocking on the door, possibly, for moving into the backup role with the Blackhawks organization. Other goalie names to look out for in the future, you have Gagin and you have Karnasky, who they drafted this year. Long way out from being NHL ready, but still names to keep an eye out for. If you want to look at all their additions, Tony Nato, Lafferty, Burakovsky. That's really it. 1 signing, 2 trades. Subtractions, Maroon and Martinez retire. Kurashev heads to San Jose. TJ Brody gets bought out. Joe Veleno is traded to Seattle, immediately bought out, and then signs in Montreal. And Athanasiou, who's also an unrestricted free agent, I believe, as of right now. We look back at the last 5 years. This team's been out of the playoffs for 5 seasons now, since their last run in 2019-20, where they lost in the first round to the Vegas Golden Knights. 2020-2021, they proclaimed, hey, we're in a rebuild now. And they actually had a pretty good season. They had a really good start, nearly rode that into the playoffs, but they didn't end up getting in. 24, 25, and 7, 55 points for 20th in the league. 2021-22, they say, okay, we're better now. That we go out, we get Seth Jones, get Tyler Johnson, get Marc-Andre Fleury, and they crash. 28, 42, and 12, 68 points for 27th in the league. Kyle Davidson takes over during that season and commits to the rebuild. 22-23, 26, 49, and 7, 59 points, 30th overall. 23-24, 23, 53, and 6 for 52 points, 31st overall. And 24-25, 25, 46, and 11, 61 points, so a 9-point jump from last season. And they're still 31st overall, but that's a 9-point improvement. You hope they go up about the same amount this season. And I will admit, I'm okay with them losing if they need to. With Gavin McKenna in this draft, you put McKenna, who's not blood-related, but still cousins with Bedard. Imagine McKenna up there. You got Bedard on the wing, McKenna on the wing. You get Frondell up the middle, and then you have Nazar, Moore, and whoever you want to put there. Lardis, if Lucas Reichel decides to have a breakout season, you want to put any of those guys there. Just imagine that young core going forward. Colton Dock in there, Slaggert in there, Green in there. All these other guys, Vanacker, Boisvert, Nostrazzo, West, Kanzerov, Mustard, Spelsy, Lardis, like any of those guys, all young guys. We can fill out the entire forward group with guys under the age of 25 by that point. And then the D pairs are all still young. The goaltending is young. It's a very young team still. And with a bunch of unrestricted free agents on the horizon, it's very possible the Hawks can get even younger this season. Foligno, Dickinson, Mikheyev, and Murphy, 4 names to look out for on the trade market. And Lafferty, to be honest. But they finished last in their division last season. I can't see them really jumping above anyone, even with how bad Nashville was last season. Utah is going to be better. I assume Nashville can only get better. The top 5 I'd still consider playoff teams. And yeah, that's going to be all I have for you guys in this one. Please let me know down below, as the biggest Blackhawks fan that I know, your thoughts on the Blackhawks this season, as well as their future. You see all these names on the board, especially the forward group, all these forwards that are waiting to jump into the lineup, getting their time in the minors and juniors and European leagues. Do you think that this team has a super bright future, or where are you leaning towards with this team? My guess is playoffs. I kind of do a prediction next time this team will make the playoffs, or if they've been in the playoffs, I'd say if where they'll be in the playoffs. With Carolina, I said they'd be probably competing for the top of the Metro. Buffalo, I said probably no playoffs, but they've got to get in there soon. Boston, I have no idea. Anaheim, I'd say 26-27. Start looking for them to make the jump into wild card contention. And Calgary, I said look for them in the mix, but maybe not in. Chicago, I said it before since this is a Blackhawks-focused channel, but I think 28-29 is the year they should be back in the playoffs. I think they'll be slightly better this year, but still pretty bad. God hope they get McKenna in the draft. They should go up, maybe not playoffs in 27-28 or 26-27, but 28-29 they for sure should be in the playoff hunt at that point. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.